Okay. I'm starting to stress now. Yo. That's why I'm mumbling so a lot.
Hello.
I caught a 16 before school, man, I'm breaking all the rules. Now we're looking like a motherfucking fool now. Dog, I'm jumping out the pool, got this drip up in my mood. Homes, I'm busting, I don't even need a suit now. Stuck in a maze, and I'm blunting all my tools now. Couldn't escape, but I was always on the move. I'm dedicated, even if I don't blow soon, man, I'm always on the move.
Hi, I'm Elize Ferreira. I'm doing now my honors in mathematics. Last year I graduated with Cum Laude in my main modules were mathematics and chemistry, and I also had physics as an extra subject. Yeah, I think the most important thing is to enjoy what you're doing, because otherwise you're gonna struggle. Because I love mathematics and also science, so yes, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And yes, to give some study tips, I think it's most important, first of all, to attend all your classes, or at least try to attend all of them, and to have a good relationship with the lecturer, because they're seeing if you're attending class or not. And it makes a way of how they're thinking about you, and it will depend if they're going to help you or not. So yes, and then also in mathematics, you can't just sit there and look at everything. You have to try everything, the problems, write it out, struggle with it, solve them with your own. And yes, it's easy if someone else do it on the board, but it's different when you try it yourself. So also for proofs, because you have a lot of proofs that you need to write. And most of the time I don't just study them from the textbook, I write them out for myself in my own way of thinking, and so that I can see that I understand what I'm doing. So yes, and also I think it's important to work throughout consistently. It doesn't help if you're like slagging in the beginning and then try to catch up everything just before exam. It's better to work out throughout. You don't have to work day and night. There's still time to socialize, to do your hobbies or sports. But yeah, to work consistently, that I think is the most important thing. Yeah. Okay. What really helps to prepare for an exam or test is, I know sometimes the lecturers can be difficult, but if they give you old papers or to get some old papers from other students, that really helps a lot, because you can see what to expect in the test or exam, because it's difficult to go and write and you don't know what to expect. So at least if you know what to expect, that helps a lot. So then what I did, what works best for me, is to go through all my work one time, and then so that I've covered everything, and then I try some old papers, because it also don't help to start with old papers but you haven't covered everything. So then I can see what the lecturers like to focus on in the old papers, and then I go back to that sections or parts of the work, and then I continue and work further from there. So yes, and also I know some people like to, study through the whole night I don't know the English, deernag. But yes, that's not, I don't think, especially for mathematics and science, you need to be fresh and your brain needs to be awake. So what my first year lecturer said, and I think that's some really good advice, study, and then if you test it tomorrow, at 10 o'clock at least, put down your books, close them, and just take the night off and enjoy and just relax so that your brain can relax. Otherwise you're going to get stressed. Oh, it's only 2 hours left before I need to write and I still haven't covered everything. So I think it's important to start ahead of time, so to be sure that you're going to do everything, that you have covered everything, but also that there's some time to relax and get rest for yourself and your brain, because you can't work, or yes, if you're not feeling that well or a little bit sleepy, or yes, when let's say I'm writing test next week, then I don't like freak out, oh it's test next week, because I've worked throughout. So I'm just chilling it out. So yeah, I think in first year 1 day was enough, and then later I needed more time, like maybe 2, or in exams 3 or 4. But even then I've already worked throughout. So it's not my short-term memory that's worse, it's my long-term memory. And I think that's better. So because then if it's your test, you can just plan ahead and see how your program is going to look. So if you have time, like the whole day in front of your test, then that's great. So you can study that day. But if not, if you like going to be quite busy that day, but you have 2 days off before, then you study that day. So I think it's good to have like a day or 2 to like, I'm going to study for this subject now. But because of the working throughout the year, every day of the week, that then when exam or tests come, you don't need to stress because you already know your work, or most of it. Yeah, and I also think many students don't like semester tests. I love them because they're helping me for when the exam comes. Because then I already know most of my work, and then I only need to cover the last bit and recap the rest. So then it's not that big hump of work before you that's scaring you. It's just recapping, and you already you understand it. I think that's also a very important thing, is because if you work throughout, you can quickly see, oh, I don't understand this, or oh, I have a problem with this. And then I think it's the best to go to your lecturer and ask him or her, please, I don't understand this. Can we please go over this again and maybe help me? Because as I said previously, then he sees, oh, she's working hard, I'm gonna help her. I'm gonna do my part because she's doing her part. So yeah, I think that is very important. Yeah. Maybe what I can say, I don't know for other subjects, but I do know for mathematics and science, is you can't just look at your textbook and just, yes, I understand this, or just like read everything like it's a storybook or a biology textbook, because it's not the same. Of course, you need to know the theorems and you can like study them and you'll learn them, but the problem is you need to try for yourself. And it's a thinking pattern you need to develop. So it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna read it and just present it like that. I'm not like a parrot. I don't know if the English and Afrikaans, but yeah, so it's not memorizing work, it's understanding work. I think that's the important thing, especially for mathematics, and then yes, sometimes for chemistry and physics. And also another thing, a tip that also helped me, especially for physics, when you have a lot of formulas to know, but you don't get the formula sheet. So I've written my own, because it's difficult to have a formula on this page and then another one on this page, and then, oh, I don't know, I already forget the first one when I'm coming at the third one. So I've written everything like a summary, but I don't, yeah, that's also a thing. I don't summarize everything because there's not time. But I summarize the formula and I make sure I know how to use them. So then when I go from my work, I summarize them. And then the hour or just before I'm writing tests, I'm just like quickly looking at my formula sheet and, oh yes, I remember all these formulas, and then that helps. Yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah, I liked postgrad. Undergrad was also nice, but especially for me, I'm coming from a small town, so I'm used to being small number of people in a class. So that doesn't frighten me. So for undergrad, it's super nice because we're only 2 in class. So we can most of the time decide, arrange, oh, this time is not going to work, maybe we can write the test on another day or other time. So that is really nice. The work is more. I expected it to be a little bit less, but it's not. The work is still the same, but the hours you're in class is less. So that's nice because now you can work at home. Yes, but yeah. Yeah, I think the general advice is, like I said in the beginning, you should do what you love. Because if not, you're gonna struggle and you're not gonna enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, you're not gonna want to prepare for a test or exam, and then it's just going to be terrible. Because I know it sounds strange, but sometimes I know I also have hard tests and I don't like that, and then when I'm done, I'm like, yes, finally the test is done. But sometimes I really enjoy writing a test. How strange that may sound, but I think, yeah, I enjoy what I do. I think that's the most important thing. Yes, I think what motivates me is I always want to do my best for myself, and also because the abilities God gave me. I don't want to neglect that, or maybe when I'm old and sitting in an old age home feeling like, oh, I could have done better, oh, I should have done this, because then it's too late. So yeah, I'm just always giving my best. I don't have to be the best, I just have to be my best. Yeah.